You know, our AI assistants are amazing at talking, but let's be honest, they're not so great at doing. So today, on The Explainer, we're going to dive into that exact shift, how AI is evolving from a simple chatbot into a do-bot, an agent that can actually finally take action in the real world for us.
I mean, we love using AI for brainstorming and getting info. But when it comes to a real-world task like booking a whole vacation, well, we're still the ones stuck juggling 10 different apps and websites, right? So what would it take for our AI to actually handle all of that for us?
All right, to figure that out, here's our game plan. We'll start by looking beyond the simple chatbot, then we'll break down the 3 core building blocks. We'll walk through planning a trip with AI, see how we stay in the driver's seat, and finally get a peek at a much smarter digital future.
Okay, so first up, the real game changer for AI assistants is getting them to move beyond just words. We're talking about the massive difference between an AI that can describe an action, like say writing the text for an email, and one that can perform a whole chain of actions across all your different apps.
Think about it like this. Right now, your AI can draft a fantastic out-of-office message, no problem. But the real destination here is to give it the power to complete a full mission, to understand you want a vacation, check your calendar, find flights it knows you'll like, book them, and then set that out-of-office email for you. All while you supervise, of course.
So how does this all work under the hood? Well, it's not magic, not at all. It really just comes down to 3 key concepts that have to work together perfectly. We've got prompts, resources, and tools. And this is where it gets really clever. You see how each building block has a different controller? You kick things off with a prompt. Then, the apps you already use provide the necessary context by granting access to resources. And finally, the AI model uses tools to actually take action. This separation of control is what makes the whole system both incredibly powerful and, most importantly, fundamentally safe.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's make this real. We're going to follow a single mission from start to finish, using this new kind of AI assistant to plan a trip to Barcelona.
So it all starts with the prompt. But, forget typing into a blank chat box. Think of this more like choosing plan a vacation from a menu of pre-built missions. You're not just vaguely talking to the AI, you're kicking off a very specific, structured process.
And once you kick off that mission, you're prompted for the key details in this really clear, structured way. So you just fill it out. Destination, duration, your interests. You're giving the AI unambiguous instructions right from the start. No more guesswork.
Okay, the AI has its marching orders. But, before any agent can act, it needs intel. It needs context. This is where resources come in, giving the AI a structured and, very importantly, secure way to access your data.
So, for example, with the application can let the AI peek at your calendar to find free dates, or maybe look at a past trip to understand your travel style. But the crucial thing here is that the application controls the access. The AI isn't just snooping around. It can only use the specific bits of data your apps make available for that specific task.
And this is where it gets really powerful. These resources can be dynamic. A resource template isn't just a static file. It's more like a pattern for asking for live data. This example here shows how the AI can be given a template to check the weather for any city on any date. It makes it incredibly flexible.
All right, so the AI has the plan from your prompt. It's got the intel from your resources. Now it's finally time for the last step to actually do things out there in the digital world. And it does this using tools.
So the AI takes everything it's learned and puts together an action plan. And each step uses a specific, well-defined tool. You can think of them like specialized mini-apps. There's one tool for searching flights, another for creating a calendar event, and another for sending an email. It's this whole chain of precise individual actions.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds incredibly powerful, maybe even a little bit scary. And that brings us to what is absolutely the most important question of all. Who is really in charge here? So let's break down exactly how this entire system is designed to keep you, the user, firmly in the driver's seat.
So let's be crystal clear about who's boss. The AI is a brilliant assistant, but it's not the boss. It can discover what tools are available, and it can suggest a pretty logical plan, but
it cannot execute a single one of those actions without your explicit approval for each step. You decide what data to share, and you always have the final yes or no.
And to make this super easy and transparent, you're given a whole safety toolkit. You'll get these really clear approval pop-ups, something like, allow AI to book this flight for $500. You can even pre-approve routine stuff if you want. And you always have a complete activity log, kind of like a receipt for every single thing the AI has done.
All right, let's zoom out for the last piece of the puzzle and see how this all comes together. Because this isn't just about one app getting smarter. This is about creating a truly connected and helpful digital future by letting all these different services work together.
See, the real magic of this model is that the AI doesn't have to be an expert in everything. Instead, it just acts as a coordinator, like a conductor for a whole team of specialists. It can ask a dedicated travel server for flights, a weather server for forecasts, and your calendar server for scheduling. And it brings all that power together in one unified place.
And that's really the ultimate vision here. This isn't about being trapped inside one giant super app. It's about building an open ecosystem where all kinds of different services can team up to act as your personal assistant. And always with your consent and for your benefit.
So, the biggest takeaway today is this huge shift we're watching happen right now. From AIs that can just talk to AIs that can actually do things, all inside a framework that's built to be both incredibly powerful and incredibly safe. And it really just leaves us with one final exciting thought. If you had an assistant that could safely handle pretty much any digital task for you, what would be the very first thing you'd ask it to do?